Hello everybody. Uh, this is once again Soundhar and Sheba in front of you from Barfoot and Thompson, and today we are going to see the process of buying a property. There are many ways to buy a property. In fact, there are properties which can be bought by auction or which can be bought by tender and sale by negotiation. Sale by negotiation. Here the property will be placed in the market with a fixed price or with an indicative price. A buyer who is very much interested in the property can make an offer with a condition or without any condition, which is called as an unconditional offer. The conditions where the buyer can put is the limb report, builder's report, the finance condition, etc., which we are going to see it in detail in a few minutes of time.
Purchasing your property by auction is a process where you buy your property through a process of public negotiations, and by doing that you can be ensured that you are competing with other buyers who are interested in the property, and should you win the auction or should you be the one to get the property, you can be sure that you have paid the true market value of that property at that particular given time. If you have inspected a property that's an auction, and if you're interested in buying the property, it's always advisable for you to first register your interest on the property through the agent who's actually taken you through the property, because by registering your interest, you will be contacted if there is any changes in the auction date. So it's always best for you to register your interest. Once you've done that, it's good for you to understand how to buy through the auction process. You are always expected to make a cash unconditional offer when you buy through auction, and if you win the auction, then you're required to pay a 10% deposit, and most important, you must be familiar with the auction procedures before you sign an auction contract. When we say by making an unconditional offer, what we mean is you have to get your finances sorted out. So make sure you get a pre-approval from the bank before you go to bid on a particular property. And if you have any concerns with regards to the building, the structure of the building, get a registered builder to inspect the property before the auction date and make sure that it's in a condition that is acceptable by you. And check your limb. Usually most of the auction properties would have a limb for you to have a look at. So make sure you go through the limb and make sure you are buying the property with no conditions, because that's what you're expected to do in an auction. A tender is a process where you present private and confidential offers within a set given time. Now, when you're making an offer for a property which is on tender, you need to make an offer on a standard tender document. It is different from the sales and purchase agreement. So make sure you tell your agent that you're interested in the property and you have to make your best possible offer. However, in a tender, you are allowed to put conditions. An unconditional offer would in fact be the most attractive one. So if there is enough time for you before the tender date to do your due diligence, like your finance and the limb report and the builder's report, it's always advisable you do your due diligence and then make an offer that's unconditional, because that'll be the most attractive one to the vendor. But having said that, that doesn't stop you from making any conditional offers. It's always advisable for you to register your interest with the salesperson if you're interested in a property that's on the market by tender. And it's always good for you to put an unconditional offer on tender, and it's important that you must know that you are legally bound by the document, by the sales and purchase agreement, if your tender has been accepted, and you're usually required to pay a 10% deposit once your contract has been signed. Now, looking at some of the conditions that a buyer can put while signing a contract, for example, if he's decided to buy a property that's on negotiation or property that's on tender. Now, some of the main conditions that a buyer can put is a limb report condition, the finance condition, a builder's report condition, and a valuation. Now, looking at a limb report is nothing but a land information memorandum that you can get from the council that will have details about the land and the property that you're going to buy. It's always advisable for you to note that sometimes it could take up to a maximum of 10 working days for you to obtain a report. So bear that in mind before you put that in as a condition. A finance condition is a condition where you are telling the vendor that you will buy the property subject to the bank approving your finance. Usually you give about 5 to 7 working days to get your finance approved. It's always advisable though for you to have it approved before you actually start looking for a property in the market. A valuation is something that you will get from a specialist. They're called registered valuers, who will come in and inspect the property and give you the current market value for the property and what it's actually worth. And looking at a builder's report is a report that you get from registered builders who come and have a look at the property that you are intending to buy and give you advice on the structural soundness of the building and anything else that you may want to know about.
Thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the program and you got some informative informations. Please feel free to call us whenever you have any doubts regarding selling or buying your property. Thank you very much.